Yahweh is good, amen. I came across this wonderful article, and when I read it, I said to myself, yo, this is something serious. It's something that we know, but let's just look at it. It's in Washington Post. This is the webpage. It reads, in the biblical version of creation, God, having made Adam and Eve in his own image, sets them loose in the Garden of Eden with a simple command. You may eat from any tree in the garden, but do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you do, you shall die. Of course, the serpent, the craftiest of God's creations, tells them otherwise. You will certainly not die. He says, for God knows when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Here already the devil is moving in the garden. Don't forget that the devil had already been kicked out of heaven. So keep that in mind. What is his plan? So with the fruit, God has given instruction. Man desires knowledge. So either the knowledge will be under God's submission, or man will be seeking his own knowledge. Fruit indicates what is produced out of a man. By your fruit, you will know them. So belief and faith is dependent on the type of fruit that one eats. It is either the fruit of any tree that God permitted for sustainment and life, or knowledge of good and evil. This is the choice. The devil says you will become like God. So this means there has to be desire to have that authority to be like the Most High. This is what the devil wanted from the beginning, to exalt his kingdom over the kingdom of Yahweh. The article continues, man and woman both eat the forbidden fruit and neither die. The serpent was right, he says. Thus, God banishes Adam and Eve from the garden as punishment for defying his command, and places angels bearing flaming swords at the Eden's gates to ensure that neither man or woman could ever return to eating the fruit. You see, here we have a religious system forming which flips the narrative. When we disobey the boss at work, we get fired, right? This is a man going against the law of God, antinomianism, anti-law. As a result, Cain kills Abel, another breaking of the commandment, anti-law. And Cain, he builds a city in Nod after God sends him out of paradise, the Garden of Eden. So Cain is kicked out and he goes and he builds a city. As arrogance, he can build a city better than Eden. So man has taken the view that he's now God. He has even become the taker of life because he slays Abel. The article goes on and reads, I lost my faith in God, then I found it. Now it's complicated. So at least he admits that it's complicated. When I read the Genesis story as a kid, I regarded it as a warning never to disobey God, lest I too be punished. Now as an adult, it seems to me that Adam and Eve were punished not for disobeying God, but trying to become God. God did not make us in his image, nor did we simply make God in ours. We are the image of God in the world, not in the form or likeness, but in the essence. We are God made manifest. So this is the doctrine of pantheism. And pantheism says that God and the universe are one. But man has become like God because he ate the apple, having both the knowledge of good and evil. So that is a high level of arrogance. Man has exalted himself above God, that he reflects the image of God on earth. Which God is the question? Did they take God's instruction or the devil's instruction? They took the devil's instruction. So, when man embraces religious philosophy over truth, the man is of his father, the devil. Against the law of God is pride. As a result, he leaves the city Eden and builds his own great city. He builds his own religion after his father, the devil, that rejects God and disguises it as the religion of God and places the core religion here in his sermons. The core religion, he places it in his sermons when he speaks, but he's not believing it. But he'll start with the core religion and he will blaspheme that core religion in his sermons, following every word that proceeds out of his mouth, and become a doer of the written scriptures. as it stands, not adding and not taking away from it. May the Almighty God bless you and keep you safe. Amen.